All right, yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're back with another YouTube video, and this is gonna be with one of my mentorship students. And this is he was in the first round of my mentorship that I started, which is still obviously pretty brand new, and he's obviously seen some success, which is why I'm interviewing him. So, what's your name, Austin?
Yeah, Austin.
Awesome. So yeah, basically just what like why do you join my mentorship? How do you find me first of all? Like what how do you find Dodgy?
Dude, I've been trading for a really a long time and I got into it just like everybody does. Like I started trading options, I learned about support and resistance, all the trend lines. Didn't work. I failed at it for like probably a couple years. I failed at it. Took a break, tried to get back into it. I was going through YouTube and that was around like 2021 and
Yeah.
2020 I feel like that's where all the ICT concepts came out and everybody was like ICT ICT. So
Yeah,
like
ICT.
yeah, like 2021 I started learning about that. And actually no, it's probably like 2022. So I tried to do like I did the silver bullet method. I was learning like about fair value gaps and I was just buying on the retest of fair value gaps. And I just had really bad psychology. And so I looked through a bunch of people. Dude, I can't even tell you. I've taken so many courses. I've like gone through so many boot camps on YouTube. And I think I
Yeah.
was just on TikTok and I just saw one of your TikToks and I was like, okay. I was like, this guy seems pretty legit. So and that was in December. And then I joined the Discord and it just so happened that you did like a free class. And when I was watching it, I think you called like a 7 hour trade. And I was just looking there and I was like, dude, how did he just like predict price exactly how it was going to be? And I think that's when you were saying that you had a mentorship course coming out too. And so
Yeah, okay.
I was like, all right. And it just so happened like right around then I quit my job and I wanted to like really try trading full time. But I don't know, yeah, just the stars aligned and then I took the mentorship course and yeah, that's I guess that's just how I found you is through TikTok and stuff.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Usually like the lowest IQ individuals are on TikTok. So like I don't really promote my stuff on there. I just do trade recaps and shit. But
That's funny.
that's crazy. So you just got how much did you just get in the payout?
So I just took a 5K payout,
Okay,
first
and that
ever.
was with 10 $500 $500, right?
Yep, just copy traded 10 accounts.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, uses that Apex is the only firm you can copy trade on, 10 accounts or 20. And um, obviously he made $500 on one account, which is I think you probably made like what 2,600, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
and then he could
technically,
yeah, and
yeah.
then multiply that by 10, right? So a lot of
Yeah.
people they're like, "Oh, Dodgy, why trading micros?" But it's not really micros because I'm obviously copy trading, so I risk a lot more
Yeah.
than people think. But basically, same thing. How much were you risking per trade just on a singular account?
I've just been doing like 200 per trade, like really around $200 per trade. So,
Okay, so really 2,000.
yeah.
So yeah, you've been risking about 2,000 per trade just because obviously copy trading. Um, Now what would you say like the when you joined my mentorship, like what do you think was like the best thing that helped you out, or what really kind of set you apart? Because I remember when you joined, like you were getting it,
Yeah.
like you were really getting it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I've been trading for so long that I had this screen time. I just didn't know how to put the concepts together.
Yeah,
So, like going through your course, it really just helped me kind of put everything together. And I learned about all the individual, like, I think like learning about like the protected lows and dude, there's so many classes in there that are just so good.
yeah.
And
I don't
it's
teach
like,
protected lows on my YouTube either.
yeah, it's like all these little
Yeah,
pieces, like these golden nut. Like, dude, you said one time in one of your videos, you're like, I think you said it was like most of the losses you take are shorts. And so I have a rule I do not short on my Apex accounts. I only long. But I have a
yeah,
separate account on my Top Step that I will short. And so, and that one's doing
yeah,
like I still pass with that one, but it's not doing as good. So,
yeah. The time I lose most is shorting at all-time highs or near all-time highs.
right. Yep.
So I kind of keep that in mind, and I do long probably 70 or 80% of the time just because of that statistic, right? If I
Yeah.
know an edge or I know a statistic, I'm not gonna go against it. So like That's like super important to me. Um, Another question. It seems to me that like every single so basically for anyone like in my mentorship, I had like journals. I reviewed everyone's trades, and Austin, he was only taking like the V shape, like really fast momentum setups. And like I could almost tell he had the screen time and he was just listening to kind of what I told him. And he was seeing these signatures and prices play out, like these V shapes. So then what he'd do is he'd only wait for those setups. And like he wouldn't, there would be inverses that like kind of chop and then go whatever, but he never really took them all the time. He would only take the ones that like are V shaping. And like I feel like do you feel like what I'm saying is true?
100%, bro. Like
Yeah,
everything changed when I started journaling every single day, like religiously,
yeah,
even my losses, like everything. And then, yeah, exactly. I just like stuck to my rules, like V-shapes, singular gaps, like
yeah. And
no
like
15 seconds. Yeah,
I'm sure you see trades that are kind of good where it's like not like fully V-shaped, but in the back of your head, like do you understand that there's gonna be like a better setup, like a better V-shape?
100%. And that's like, yeah, I think one thing you told me too is like you should have two separate accounts, one that you really care about, one that you don't care about. You say it all the time.
Yeah,
So
yeah, just to
that's it.
scratch that
Yeah,
itch.
right. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. So, and it
Yeah, I
saved
got
me
you.
so many times. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
What would your biggest like? I tell people this all the time. Like, if you're going into the day and there's like somewhat bad PA, right? It's like, why would you risk your money on that PA if you've traded really good PA in the past? Like, why not wait for that same PA where you always take winners on? And that's like something I really preach, um, obviously. And, it's super important to understand that because most people aren't patient enough to wait for that good PA because they're trying to rush the process. They're trying to make the money so quick. And they're like, we're never gonna get like they'll take a really A+ setup. Like yesterday, we got like a really good 3 minute long, and for anyone wondering, it's 6:23:25. I don't know when I'm gonna upload this YouTube video, but if you go in the AM session off open on the 23rd of June 2025, you got a really good 3 minute setup. And like if you can be patient up and wait for setups like that, you're gonna do so much more better. But the problem is people are like, oh, we're never gonna get that setup again, or we're only gonna get that setup once. So like my question is, how do you know that we're gonna get good price action and it's not gonna be like one good move and then we'll never get it again?
You know, I think just in the back of my mind, like the thing is too, when I started the mentorship, I traded every single day, like no matter what. And
Yeah,
I would come to these points where I started forcing a setup because it wasn't like I couldn't find my setup in the market that day. And so I'd force something and I would lose. And I just got to that point where like I was just so frustrated with losing so many times or like breaking my rules that I was like, all right, I'm not gonna break my rules. And then on days like this where we have like really bad PA and we're in between draws or there's like conflicting draws and we're not getting like in singular inverse fair value gaps, I'm just like, all right, I'll sit out. Like I don't even
yeah.
care.
Now I have a question. On days like this, can you predict the bias?
I mean, yeah, like I predicted the bias. I thought we were bullish bias, so
Yeah,
but
exactly. So
no
you
setup,
can predict
yeah.
the bias. Even now, on days like this, will there be like these short term inverses that work for like 1 hour, kind of like, but they're a little choppy?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So what makes you not take those and wait for like the really good ones?
I mean, for me, it's just like it's really not worth risking, honestly. Like I would rather just wait for something that I know is gonna work. Because like
Yeah,
I've seen this too. Like I traded my accounts, I took the $5,000 payout, but that's over like 80 days of me trading.
yeah.
And for March and April, I was
I
break
mean,
even.
5,000 is 5,000, bro.
Exactly. No, 100%, 100%. But I think the thing that really changed was like March and April, I was break even because I was taking those plays that like it was kind of good. It wasn't inverse. It obviously had, everything to it, but it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wasn't perfect.
It just
And
wasn't the light bulb.
and I would have these break even weeks and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, dude, another one." So I think it's just like really me just being like so annoyed of having these break even weeks or these break even months that I was like, I'm literally just gonna wait for like an A+ setup. If I took one trade a week and it was a winner, I'd be fine with that. Like that's all you
Yeah,
need.
yeah, exactly. I mean, if you can make like 3, 4 R in a singular week, that's better than 99% of
Oh
trading. So
yeah,
let's say you take 3 wins and it's already Friday or Thursday. Like, why even trade anymore?
it's a good point.
Um,
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think the biggest challenge was for you?
I think over trading. It's our yeah, revenge
Okay.
trading, over trading. The hard part was like before I didn't stick to a specific time zone. Like I would wake up in the morning, I might take like one or two trades pre-market. And of course they would be losers. I don't trade pre-market anymore. Like I religiously just trade the New York AM session. That's it.
I've really been doing the same thing, 9:30 to 11 only.
Yeah. And so I think the hardest thing was like, yeah, on those days where I would already take a loss before market open, I would try and like force a setup and I would end up revenge trading. That was definitely one of the hardest things to overcome for sure. I mean, I still sometimes like over this last month I broke my rules twice. So
Yeah.
like obviously I'm not perfect. I'm still working on everything, but it's definitely yeah, that's definitely one of the hardest ones I'd say.
Okay, that makes sense. Um, all right, I got you. Now, what would like if you had to tell? Obviously, this is not financial advice; this is for entertainment
Yeah.
purposes only. But if you could tell someone one thing like that would might help them the most, what would it be?
I would
Like
say
for, and this is in regards to like getting a payout or making money or getting past that break even stage.
yeah, I would say like the most important thing is like set a defined system of rules and follow them religiously. Like
Okay.
definitely make sure you're following rules. I think the two trades a day break evens don't count. I mean, even sometimes I'll take a break even. Like today I took a break even and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to trade the rest of the session. And maybe I'll look in PM session, but really just sticking to your rules, I think is a super big one. I love having two different accounts. Like I have my PA Apexes and I just wait for the A plus plus setups. And then on my top step funded, it's just a singular funded. And I'm okay to take like B plus setups or A minus
Yeah.
setups and like not worry too much about it. And
Yeah.
so I think
Yeah.
that's a big one too.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, makes sense.
And
Yeah, a
journal,
lot
journal
journaling.
religiously. Yep.
Journaling help. Even if you win a lot, you still gotta journal, dude. I'm telling you, because you're gonna journal and your mind's gonna be like, oh, I gotta do more of this, right? I gotta take more of these setups, right? And I'm
Hmm.
sure you as a trader, you're obviously winning mostly on these V-shaped momentum setups that go along with the bias, right? So your brain is kind of like, okay, if I want to get a payout for real and not mess around and lock in, I gotta keep taking setups like this.
100%. Yeah.
So that makes sense.
And yeah.
Um, yeah, another thing is a lot of people make fun of me because like I'll paper trade after 11 or I'll paper trade, when I think PA is bad. And like me paper trading after 11 or just me following my rules. I mean, of course, there's always going to be wins after 11 o'clock, but based off my experience, based off of like back testing, I know the highest probability to time that to trade that you could ever trade is 9:30 to 11. And like, of course, I see wins all the time after 11, whatever. But there's also a lot more losses, and I'd rather wait for that one key setup, 9:30 to 11, and call it. Now, it definitely depends on the situation people are in because I trade with enough size to where I could take 3 trades a week and be fine. Now, if you're trading like risking $100 or $200, you're not going to be able to fully pay your bills. Taking 2 trades a week because that's not going to be enough money. But here's the thing: if you could do that for a year, take risk 100, $200 trades, stay consistent. Once you start risking 1,000, 2,000 later in the future, you're gonna realize that less trades is more. You're just sizing heavier. So I think I don't think you're there yet, obviously, but I think you can get there. And I think, you know, obviously you're risking 2,000 per trade on the 10 apexes, but you understand that that's enough risk to where you don't need to trade every day. You don't need to overtrade because once you do get that payout, it's going to be worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%.
So I think that's like definitely important to understand. Um, what do you do? What job did you do? Just out of curiosity.
So I did sales. I've done sales like for a while and
Yeah,
I did pretty good. So it thankfully it allowed me to like quit my job in December when I took trading full time and I
yeah,
just grinded super hard. So yeah, that's yeah.
gotcha. Nice. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this interview. And again, if you guys want to, um, if you guys are interested in, maybe asking Austin a few more questions, I know his Discord is it's Soul Envy, right?
Yep.
Um, so it's basically SOULENVVY, and he's obviously in my Discord if you have any more questions. But he's obviously taking good trades. I remember when I told you when I saw you journaling, I'm like, bro, you literally take all the most perfect setups ever,
Yep.
like all the perfect V shapes. So like, obviously when I helped him in the mentorship a little bit and told him that, I think his brain's like, okay, I gotta keep doing more of this, then. So that's definitely helpful.
100%.
Is there anything else you may have for anyone watching this on YouTube?
Dude, I just want to say I appreciate you. Anybody that says the inverse fair value gaps don't work is so wrong. And
Yeah, I know.
uh dude, yeah, you're a G. The mentorship, I mean, like I said, I've taken a couple different ones, but that I'm telling you changed everything for me. So I really appreciate it, bro. Watching a dream come true is so crazy. It's so sick. I'm so excited.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
So I appreciate it.
Now, the one thing I'm gonna tell you is don't get overconfident now.
Yes.
Just because you
100%.
got a payout. I see a
100%.
lot of people getting payouts and they get overconfident. They stop journaling. They're like, oh, I don't need to journal anymore.
Yeah.
You always got to. You ever played any sports growing up?
I mean, I did a lot of, yeah, I did a lot of sports. So
Did a coach ever tell you pretend like it's 0-0?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, pretend like it's 0-0. Pretend like you have not gotten a payout yet,
Right.
and that's gonna help you in the long term, right? I
100%.
I always pretend like I've made no money ever, and it helps me because it's like it keeps me
Yeah.
locked in, it keeps me focused. If I go in like, oh, I can make 100K easily, like I'm gonna get overconfident, I'm gonna get cocky, and
Yeah.
it doesn't lead to good results. So,
Yeah.
so that's gonna be it for the interview, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Austin, it was a pleasure,
Appreciate you, brother.
and yeah, I'll see you later, man.
All right. Peace.
All right, so that's Austin. If you guys are obviously interested in my mentorship, you can book a call in the link below. It's not super expensive, but it's not cheap, and I do decline people because I can tell they're like, I don't want to be mean, but I can tell they're probably not ambitious. You can tell by the way Austin speaks, they're obviously ambitious, and when you get in a call with, my guy Brandon is likely who you're getting a call with. He obviously is gonna be able to tell too, whether you're gonna, work for it. I mean, there's been people on mentorship I think are gonna work for it. They do it for 2-3 weeks, and then I never hear from them again. And like, I'm literally like, and I don't want to take your money if that's gonna be you. So, feel free, book a call below to find out more information. Text Austin if you have any questions, and just remember, I have a lot of free YouTube videos. I have a lot of free content, so I have free stuff too. And you could obviously go the free route. It might take a little more work, but I'm not going to be reviewing your trades or anything. But in the mentorship, I review your trades. I do these little private classes, and it's just you got to understand that it's going to be a different journey for everyone. It might take someone a year to become profitable. It might take someone a couple months to become profitable. It's just going to depend. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to use code Dodgy for an Apex account, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.